But, Paul, you just got back this morning. You might as well have stayed in St. Louis.
I promise I'll be back by Friday. Then we'll celebrate. Steaks and cheese?
Make a chicken soup at home?
Your stomach flu still hanging on?
And on and on. I've been coughing antacids all day.
Celeste!
Try again, Dr. Travis. And remember, your mouse is your friend.
Yeah, some friend. Why can't I just type in a couple of words and go where I want?
Well, we could if we were working on a text-based system, but this is a far superior graphics-based interface.
Yeah? Superior in what way? That it makes people crazier faster?
Doctor, the hospital has made a big investment in these computers. Now, please, just give me and my system a chance.
It's the mouse that doesn't want to give me a chance. It's the one that doesn't want to be friends.
Look, it's not that hard. Let me show you. Just follow the icons like a clearly marked path from acquisitions to personnel to patient history.
As I was saying.
Perhaps I should reinstall.
Watch your backs.
What do you got?
32-year-old male with a single gunshot wound to the left upper extremity. Lots of shed blood at the scene. No radial pulse on that side. I've got pressure on the bleeder.
Let's go trauma 1. Smooth. Rapid pulse 120.
BP 80/40.
Okay, on my count. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I want 10 milligrams. Morphine, typing cross, 2 units, whole blood in the chest tube. Alert X-ray, notify the OR. We gotta stack these down and keep the pressure on that wound. You're in the hospital, Mr. Kirkpatrick.
My wife, is she okay?
Let's worry about getting you taken care of first, okay?
She's dead, isn't she?
I'm sorry, Mr. Kirkpatrick.
I did this to her. It's my fault.
By all accounts, everybody loves Celeste Kirkpatrick.
Including her husband?
Apparently so. Everybody also says they had the perfect marriage. Celeste, the successful psychologist, and Paul, the up-and-coming lawyer.
Any witnesses?
Plenty, but none of them can ID the shooter. You're all too busy eyeballing his wheels. Red Ferrari, 355, no less.
Ooh, sounds like a distinctive automobile.
About $200,000 worth of distinction.
Ooh, at that price, I can't eat too many F-16s around.
It's an F-355, Dad, not an airplane. But you'd be surprised, between Bel Air and Beverly Hills.
Kirkpatrick is in recovery. He came through surgery pretty well. His vitals are stable and he's conscious.
Stable enough to answer a few questions?
I think I know what the first one's gonna be.
Like, why did he say it was his fault that his wife died?
I'll let you know.
Vince Thatcher. He's the one you want. He killed Celeste.
I have trouble seeing a thug like Thatcher go into a shrink.
He didn't. See, I was the target. I hammered Thatcher on a negligent suit last year. He swore he'd pay me back. I just never took him seriously. Dear God, I wish I had.
I take it this Thatcher guy is not exactly your average citizen.
Oh, I'd rate him higher than average. His propensity for violence, especially when it comes to someone who's wronged him.
Then he'd have no problem arranging a drive-by shooting.
Well, Thatcher'd have no problem doing it himself. He also owns a company that imports high-end exotic cars. Where's Simonetti, Thatcher? You up? Forget to pay his retainer?
Innocent people don't need lawyers, Lieutenant.
Well, Paul Kirkpatrick says that you killed his wife this morning.
I've never even met the woman. But I'm overcome with grief.
I'll be sure to pass on your condolences.
Yes, how is Paul these days?
He's recovering from a gunshot wound.
How sad.
But that he's recovering or that he's been shot?
Look, last year, Kirkpatrick's idiot client bought a car from me, got drunk, and rammed into a brick wall. Next thing I know, we're headed for court. Idiot client versus innocent salesman. All to fatten Kirkpatrick's wallet.
So you decided to get some payback. Only you shot his wife instead. Oh, it can't be easy hitting someone from a moving Ferrari.
I was in my showroom all day with 2 customers and 3 employees. Ask any one of them.
And none of those guys would have any reason to lie.
They're all model citizens.
Just like you.
All right, let's run a curly to determine his age and get cross-sections on his left and right femur and humerus, okay? Thank you.
Hey, you got a prelim on Celeste Kirkpatrick?
Yep, it's not going to make you very happy.
I was hoping for something that would make the killer unhappy.
Which one?
Which one what?
Which killer? Apparently, someone tried to murder Celeste 2 days before she was shot.
All right, now I'm totally confused.
All right, there were anomalies in the stomach contents and the condition of the lower intestine, so I ordered a full tox panel.
Traces of Actaea rubra?
Baneberry. It's a native plant. It contains a digitalis-like poison. And Celeste consumed it no more than 48 hours before she was shot.
So someone baked her a baneberry pie?
Now, that's if they wanted to do it the hard way. I think it was probably dried and ground up. Very concentrated. A small amount would suffice.
Small enough to put in a medicine capsule?
Only she wasn't on meds. I think that somebody slipped it into something that she was drinking. Juice, coffee, tea, something.
But not enough to kill her.
Oh, no, it was a lethal amount. Except that Celeste also digested a demulcent. Possibly a large amount of dairy products.
And the dairy neutralized the baneberry.
Exactly. She was probably pretty sick and passed it off as the stomach flu or food poisoning. I told you there wasn't much here to make you feel happy.
Why? Just because we may be looking for 2 killers with the same target?
Or one. He tried to poison her, and when that didn't work, he shot her.
Or whoever shot Celeste was actually aiming at Paul, and the poisoner is someone else entirely.
I meant to tell you why Celeste did not succumb to that poison.
Yeah, apparently because she ate dairy products of some kind.
She had to have eaten that before she got the baneberry.
You sure?
Well, I'm pretty sure. I kind of suspect if she had taken baneberry on an empty stomach, she'd be too ill to eat anything, dairy or otherwise.
So if we can pinpoint when she took the dairy products...
We know approximately when that poisoning took place.
This is a copy of Celeste's recent appointments.
Including last Wednesday?
When she threw a going-away party for one of her employees. An ice cream party.
To check out the staff.
Yeah, none of them look good for this. Certainly none of them drive an expensive foreign sports car. But she did have 2 appointments after the party.
Well, what do you think the odds are that one of those owns one of those, what do you call it, B-25s?
355, Dad. It's not a plain... Never mind.
Owens Investments, please hold.
Miss Cook, can you verify that your employer leases...
Owens Investments, please hold. Yes.
Does your employer lease a Ferrari?
An F-355, red. Gorgeous car. Owens Investments, please hold.
Can you also verify that he had an appointment last Wednesday with...
Owens Investments, please hold.
With Celeste Kirkpatrick?
Century City, 3 p.m. No sale. Hardly ever makes cold calls like that.
Thank you so much for your help, but maybe it's time I talk to your boss directly.
Mr. Owen, this is Detective Sloan.
I'll call 911.
Might as well call the coroner's office while you're at it.
You know, I've been driving by this place for years. I've never been inside. Not like you have. Don't you remember you had to chase your ball over that wall?
And Mr. Landau Stoverman gave me a very quick tour.
Well, it should be more leisurely this time. That is, providing old Cuddles isn't still around. The Doberman. You a little preoccupied?
Yeah, sorry, it's this Kirkpatrick case. I tied Nico into the gun and the poison, not to mention the car.
Well, there's no tie to Celeste Kirkpatrick.
Nothing would explain why he'd want to kill her. I mean, this guy's a CPA with 2 kids in college and no criminal record.
Well, they did have that one meeting, you know.
Yeah, the one and only, which by all accounts was strictly business and very cordial.
Yeah, if you want to call attempted poisoning cordial. My nose is running. I can see why you're so perplexed, though. Mr. Owen hardly fits any kind of a profile, does he?
Well, there's always the deranged but determined category.
That's a good one.
I made it up. But at least the case is closed and I've got my Saturday free. You don't see Cuddles, do you?
No, no sign of him.
12:30 your office said, right? And that's not 12 o'clock, that's not 1 o'clock, that's 12:30. And I confirmed that twice last week with your office.
I understand.
Here it is. It's barely 12:30. And the place is crawling with people. Now, come on. 12:30 is 12:30. Am I right?
Mr. Wolf, there's only one other couple
Give
waiting.
it a rest.
Hi.
Hi.
I never realized the real estate business was so intense.
It's this market. Everyone's in a frenzy.
Mr. Wolf certainly is.
Yeah. I'm sorry, you didn't come here to listen to my troubles. I'm Tab Vaughn, Kendine Realtors. And this is a wonderful neighborhood. Great schools, easy access to both the valley and the west side.
Until the floods come.
Or mudslides.
Or the hills get on fire. We live in the neighborhood.
Oh, okay.
You know, I was thinking maybe we could take a quick tour. My son used to play chase here.
Not recently.
Well then, follow me. You are going to love the changes they've made to the place.
Oh, Mr. Muller, you might as well sign your visitor's book. Oh, here.
Yeah, thanks. And, call me Tab, please.
Tab. Look at the size of this room. You could cook a banquet in here and have room left over.
No thanks, I cooked 2 last Sunday.
2 banquets in one day?
Mm-hmm. My first and my last.
Don't let him kid you. He's got a great little barbecue business going. Look at this tile.
Oh, it's nice. If you like Formica, that is.
Formica?
Oh, and these windows. Why do people spend a fortune to remodel their house and then just ruin it with these cheap windows?
Evelyn, we gotta go.
Windows are the eyes of a house. And I ask you, who wants cheap, shabby eyes?
Well, they are double pane. Very energy efficient.
Evelyn.
Oh, come on. I can't wait to hear your excuse for the atrocities in the living room.
Look at these exposed wood beams. That's like a feast for a colony of termites.
You want to go see some atrocities?
I'd love to. Look at these beautiful hand-carved doors. Oh, boy, you don't see that much anymore.
Oh, my God!
What is that? What, a heart attack?
No, murder.
I'm Lieutenant Steve Sloan, LAPD.
I thought you said you were in the barbecue business.
No, that's just a sideline. Homicide is my main thing.
Well, one thing I know, this ain't my business.
Nobody leaves until I say so. Now, does anybody recognize this man? Mr. Bond? What do we got there?
White male, about 45. He looks like he's been bludgeoned, and his rear pocket's turned inside out.
Somebody took his wallet?
Well, could be. It was a robbery gone wrong. Only the killer left the watch. It's a Boland's worth several $1,000s.
Maybe someone interrupted the killer. Or maybe he was just plain stupid. What about these stains?
Well, other than the blood splatters, they look like coffee, probably ink. Judging from the color of his skin and nails, he hasn't been dead very long, probably less than an hour.
You mean it happened while we were touring the house?
Possibly.
You mean the killer could still be here with us?
It could be any one of the prospective buyers in this room.
Hey, that lets us out. We're looky-loos. Come on, Evelyn.
Sir, you want to put down the bag in the backpack? Thank you.
They're stealing the house piece by piece.
See where your motor mouth gets us?
Dave, there's blood on there.
Now wait, we didn't kill anybody. We didn't even pick up that thing. Well, okay, maybe we did take the poker.
And quite a few other things.
Why? We run sort of a boutique hardware store on Melrose.
Yeah, you ought to drop by sometime.
Evelyn?
We just carry the most wonderful antique fixtures and these lovely brass fitting things.
Probably very expensive, too.
Maybe worth enough to make murder worthwhile.
You're going to try and hang this on us, aren't you?
Evelyn, we have the right to remain silent. Use it.
You ought to use your cuffs on them, officer. I mean, look, they've already confessed to being thieves. They had the murder weapon. What else you need?
Motive might be nice.
Motive, okay. Let's say the victim surprised them and things got a little out of control.
The only thing out of control was this man.
Evelyn, remaining silent means keeping your mouth closed.
You know, we could hear him all the way down the hall, and he just stormed in looking for someone to kill.
You were very angry when you came in here.
Yeah, angry enough to commit murder.
I'll agree with that. I thought he was going to hit me.
All right, look, I admit I was angry, but it's because this idiot's office gave me the wrong time for the open house.
Wrong time? What wrong time? The place was already open when we got here at 12:15.
But they told me 12:30. If I got here by 12:30, I can make a preemptive offer. I can avoid a bidding war.
The wrong time. That's the answer. Mr. Vaughn, might I borrow your pen?
Yeah?
Thank you for making a confession.
You see, Carth, he didn't even open his mouth and he's already confessed.
Wait a minute. I did not confess. I was in the entryway greeting people the entire time. If I had killed that man, why would I have stayed in the house?
Well, I don't think you did voluntarily. My guess is that that's Tab Vaughn, the realtor who was supposed to be showing this house. I don't know who you are, but I'll bet you that you talked Mr. Vaughn into letting you in here early. And you killed him.
But then people started arriving, and you were trapped.
You took his jacket and then had to take his place.
Then you waited for the right moment to slip away, only that moment never came.
This is totally crazy. This jacket is mine. How can you say that it isn't?
Because when I asked you for this pen, you reached in the wrong pocket.
Oh, and that proves that I'm a killer.
No, it proves you're right-handed. Mr. Vaughn here is left-handed.
He's right. The guy's a lefty. He's got his watch on his right wrist.
And there's that ink stain on the dead man's shirt, for which there is no doubt a matching stain inside that jacket.
Tab, or wherever you are, I'll see your poker and raise you 144 special.
There's just one question I'd like to have answered. Why did you kill that man?
I have the right to remain silent.
See?
Double entry bookkeeping? Hope that doesn't mean we're keeping two sets of books.
All the accounts have to balance. You take money out of the checking and put it into ribs. $900. We go through ribs pretty fast around here.
As fast as we go through ketchup? $4,000 for ketchup?
That's $40. Steve, see that? That's a decimal point right there.
Well, who can tell? Do you have to write everything like it's a prescription?
Why do I take it you're not exactly in the mood to be doing this?
Hey, I'm in a great mood. Any week you solve 2 murders has got to be a real winner, right?
You tell me.
No, I just prefer when the killer at least knows the victim. And Nick Owen never even met Celeste Kirkpatrick before the day he tried to poison her.
Well, he said he wanted to sell her some stock. Maybe he got mad that she turned him down.
So a guy with no history of violence or mental illness decides to do a drive-by from a $200,000 car?
Guess the guy showed a little style. Steve, I'm sorry, but I still don't see the big mystery. Nick Owen just lost it one day and decided it was time to kill somebody. Anybody.
It happens once in a while. But twice in 1 week? What about Richard Frost? He's that guy that walked into the open house in Malibu and killed a realtor he never met.
Let me guess, Frost is just an average citizen.
He's got a tract house in Arcadia, a wife, 3 kids, and a lawyer that won't let him talk unless it's complete diminished capacity.
On what basis? His pathological hatred of realtors?
Inoperable brain tumor.
Did you verify that?
Yeah, Frost was a patient at Community General. Well,
Amanda and I were just looking over Nick Owen's autopsy report. He was a patient at Community General.
Oh, don't tell me.
And he was in the final stages of lymphatic carcinoma.
So in 1 week, 2 men with terminal illnesses killed total strangers.
Which is dead and the other one won't talk about it. No wonder you're in such a great mood.
You want some fries with that salt?
Mr. Hudson, please.
There's his desk over there. Just have a seat. He'll be right back.
Thank you. Mr. Hudson, Maxwell Hudson.
Yes, how may I help you?
Everybody
He sounded like it was just in the street.
Someone move! Everybody down to the floor! Right now!
Call 911. Make sure we got paramedics and backup on the way.
Come on in.
Lieutenant Steve Simone, Central Division. What's the situation?
My partner just went in to get some plane tickets. He must have walked in on a robbery or something.
How many perps? How many weapons?
There's one weapon. It sounded like a semi-automatic. I read 1 perp so far. One of the people that got out of there said that 2 people are down, including my partner.
Get away! Drop the gun, now! Get away right now! I'll shoot her!
Jesse, go.
He's all bottled up inside. There's no place for him to go.
Yeah. Trouble is, he probably knows that. Call dispatch, have him send a mobile command post.
Will do.
Yeah. Keep the heavy firepower out of sight. Keep a low profile. Maybe this guy won't panic.
This wasn't supposed to happen. This wasn't supposed to happen. Gotta make a plan. Gotta do something. Gotta plan something.
Hello?
This is Lieutenant Steve Sloan. Who am I talking to?
The guy with the gun.
Still like to know your name?
Justin Blair.
Let me help you, Justin.
Oh, yeah? How about $10 million in a safe passage to Rio? Can you help me with that?
I don't think so.
So what good are you?
Justin? Justin, we're talking on a captured line. All your calls have to go through me.
How convenient.
Who did you want to talk to?
My wife.
You want me to call her? Have her come down here?
I don't know.
Tell me what happened in there, Justin. What went wrong?
Everything. Everything went wrong. I didn't want to shoot the cop. But he came through the door and everything just fell apart. Oh, man. I wish I knew what to do. I can't think!
Oh my God!
Shut up! Everybody, just shut up!
Listen to me, Justin. I can help you.
I think we already established that you can.
Let me take that wounded officer off your hands. That will make things easier for you, won't it?
Okay, Lieutenant Sloan. You keep saying you want to help. You come down here and take the cop's place.
Justin.
Come down here and take the cop's place, or I'll shoot him. I swear I will.
Get me a Kevlar. Just do me a favor. Call my dad. Steve, have him check out Justin Blair. If he comes up with anything, have one of the techs patch him on the secure line.
Steve, I'm no expert, but I don't think trading yourself for a hostage is proper police procedure.
Jesse, you think I want to do this? I got any time. He's going to kill that cop.
All right, what's to stop him from killing you?
Jesse, please, just call my dad.
Jesse, I'll get back to you. Eventually.
I'm sorry, Dr. Sloan. I'm still having a problem here.
You're supposed to be our computer expert, Mr. Rogan. Should the patient file be this hard to access?
We'll get into them, I promise. Although, what are the odds that this man is a patient here?
Well, Steve's got a hunch. Frankly, so do I.
Okay, we've got 4 snipers in place. All they need is a clear shot. Just maneuver him to the front door or a window.
Won't come to that.
What, are you gonna try and save this guy?
And the hostages and your partner. A real hero. Steve, I'm here, Dad.
Just like you thought, your Mr. Blair is under treatment here at Community General. Chemotherapy for lung cancer.
He's terminal?
Steve, this man has nothing to lose.
Maybe I can convince him otherwise.
No arguments. You're getting the doctor in there.
You're not going in until I've got the situation under control.
All right, we'll work out the details later.
Right. When I say so, not a second before. Justin, it's Steve Sloan.
Hands high. Shut the door. Turn around. Turn around.
I'm not armed, Justin.
Yeah, right. You're my friend. You wouldn't let anything hurt your new pal.
Yeah, I won't kid you about the pal part, Justin. But I am here to help.
So, I can trust you? You're on my side?
Somebody has to be. Considering what you're going through. I know how sick you are, Justin.
I went past sick a long time ago. I'm a walking dead man.
Is it gonna help if all these people die too?
I don't care about these people, and I don't give a damn about you.
Justin, you and your wife, you have any kids? Justin, there are 4 snipers out there. I'm supposed to get you over by the window so they can take you out. So 8 TV crews ready to go live when it happens. Is that how you want to say goodbye to your family? You really want your children to see that? I have control of the weapons. Send in Dr. Travis.
Thank God.
Tell me something, Justin. That man over there. You knew him, didn't you? I mean, you met him before today, right? Read him his rights and get him out of here. What do you mean I can't talk to him? The man's involved in a criminal conspiracy.
He's also in a dissociative state.
And what does that mean exactly?
Well, it means that your Mr. Blair has imploded, psychologically speaking.
Which means he's probably not speaking at all, right?
He suffered a complete mental breakdown. There's no telling when or if it'll ever pass.
Terrific. 3 law-abiding citizens suddenly start committing murders. One takes himself out, another's lawyer won't let him talk, and now this.
Well, Steve, at least you caught them.
Yeah, but I still don't know why they did what they did. I mean, they were all terminally ill, but none of them were destitute.
Yeah, fortunately, they all had insurance benefits.
Well, maybe they traded murders. I mean, all 3 were patients here at Community General.
Yeah, and each one of them could have been killing someone for one of the others.
Yeah, but there's no connection between any of the victims and the killers.
All right, what about a cult angle? What if there's like some bogus messiah who is commanding them to kill?
Jesse, sometimes you scare me.
Wait a minute, that's not such a bad idea.
Well, that's what scares me. Cults and terrorists have an agenda. There's a reason for doing what they're doing. There doesn't seem to be any reason here.
Well, then there has to be another connection.
There is. Nick Owen, Richard Frost, and Justin Blair all had the same admissions nurse.
Sure, I admitted all 3 of these guys.
Then you don't deny knowing.
I wouldn't deny knowing any of our terminal patients. That's my job. I admit almost all of them.
Dallas has special training dealing with terminal patients.
Yeah, these people, a lot of the time, they can barely cope. They need somebody to guide them, right, Doctor?
Donna, we apologize for all these questions, but there's been 3 murders already.
And there's a chance other people could die if we don't solve them.
Well, you're right about one thing. I'm the only one who's had contact with all of them.
Donna, this code by their names, I don't recognize that. You know what that means?
I'm not sure. Let me try to find out. What it means is these patients' insurance claims aren't being processed by billing like everybody else. They've all been routed to the same person in administration.
Which person?
The genius that put together this whole system. That new computer guy.
Absolutely. No, I agree. Medical confidentiality, it's crucial. Now, that's why I was so careful to make our new software secure.
Ernest, I'm glad to hear you say that. Because someone with unlimited access to those patient files could wind up out of control.
I don't quite follow you.
Well, think about it. Terminal patients, for instance. You know, they're usually desperate. Insurance benefits running out, life savings spent. Think how easy it would be for someone to coerce them. You, for instance.
Only questions now are, why'd you do it? And for whom?
Well, what other why is there, Lieutenant?
Money.
And as far as the whom, very grammatical, Lieutenant, not until I get a deal from the DA.
Let me guess. No first-degree murder, no death penalty.
And no maximum security, no Pelican Bay. You make me happy, I'll give you what you want.
The names of the people who actually paid for those murders.
Well, they are the ones that bear the ultimate responsibility, right?
You really think we can't put that together ourselves in a few days?
What if I told you you don't have a few days?
There's another murder in the works.
In about 2 hours.
And you're just willing to sit here and let it happen?
Well, it won't be on my conscience. I don't have one. How about you, Doc?
Less than an hour and a half.
You know, I hate to say this to you guys, but I think we should have taken Rogan's deal.
Even if we wanted to, we can't trust that guy.
Jesse is right. It's up to us to uncover the identity of anybody in his hospital that Rogan's recruited. Unfortunately, Rogan has locked all that information up on our new computer.
I thought these guys all had insurance. According to this, they're exhausted their benefits.
Nah, that can't be. I checked. They all had full benefits.
You know, their original policies have expired, but somehow they're all still covered.
By the same company, right?
Yeah, Montana Mutual.
I never heard of them. That must be a new outfit.
Of Rogan's. I'm willing to bet you anything that Montana Mutual is his outfit.
Rogan paid off his killers with payments routed through a phony insurance company.
That's what he did. That should be very easy to find. Aha.
What? Aha.
There are 7 patients in this hospital covered by Montana Mutual.
And they're all terminally ill.
I assume that list contains our 3 killers.
Yeah, and 4 more potential killers.
One of whom is scheduled to commit murder in less than 85 minutes.
The question is, which one?
Let's check out these others.
Very good, Lieutenant. See, you found one of my clients.
More than one, actually.
Really? Ah. And with a half hour to spare. Too bad he's not the right one. How many are left, I wonder?
We'll get him.
Of course you will. All this manpower that you have, how could you fail? Whoops. I'm forgetting you only have a half hour unless you cut a deal with me.
I'd die first.
It won't be you, Lieutenant. It'll be some poor, innocent woman.
If you're so concerned, why don't you give me your name?
I'm sorry. I don't remember. Maybe it's the stress of facing that lethal injection. But I can tell you a little bit about the victim. She's a hard worker. She's a devoted mother. She's a regular churchgoer. I think you'd like her.
Well, maybe you could introduce us.
What a pity that her husband finds her so dull in the bedroom. I honestly think that that's the only reason he found a new woman. One that he would kill to be with.
Only he's not the one that's going to be doing the killing.
Yes. But I think it will weigh heavily on his conscience. You know, alimony, it's a terrible burden, but guilt, that's far worse, don't you think?
I'm not the one that's got something to feel guilty about.
Don't you? When they peel that poor woman off the wheels of that bus, won't you feel just a little tinge knowing you could have saved her life, huh?
Oh, we'll get your killer.
It's a big city, Lieutenant. I mean, even if I told you my client was going to commit his murder somewhere on Ventura Boulevard, how long do you think it would take you to find him?
Is that where it's going to happen? Ventura Boulevard?
Sunset, or Santa Monica, or Western, or maybe not even a bus. I mean, the stress is just killing my memory. Deal, Lieutenant. You have 25 minutes.
And I'm not going to waste any more of it on you. Get him out of here.
Wait a minute, this is not a smart thing to do, Lieutenant. I am your only hope.
Sure hope you're wrong. Dad?
See, how'd you do?
So far, we've picked up 2 of them.
Well, I can rule out another one for you. Mr. Haywood's in ICU in a coma.
Well, that still leaves one possible killer.
Troy Griffin.
His whereabouts, unfortunately, are still unknown. I do have a unit watching his apartment, at least.
Well, let's hope he gets there inside the next half hour.
Mark, I think we got it. We get Troy Griffin.
We tracked down his wife, and she said that Griffin was having a business meeting at Del Floria's restaurant.
In less than half an hour.
Get that, Steve? I'm on my way.
Drop the knife.
You don't really want to do this, do you, Griffin? Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Right. Captain Newman says hello.
Oh, hope he's in a good mood.
Well, he should be. Paul Kirkpatrick just pleaded out.
Did he admit to hiring Rogan to arrange his wife's murder?
For her life insurance. Turns out poor Paul had some heavy financial problems.
He must really be disappointed. He gets shot by his own hitman and ends up in prison.
Along with the guy who paid for Tab Vaughn's death. What was his story? He and Vaughn were partners in a bent real estate scheme. When things started falling apart, Vaughn decided to turn state's evidence.
So his partner decided he had to go.
Along with Maxwell Hudson's partner.
Hudson?
Yeah, he's the guy that was killed in the travel agency, which turns out to be the front for a big smuggling operation.
So his partner wanted the whole operation for himself.
Now he's headed for Folsom, along with the rest of Rogan's clients as soon as we catch up with them.
You know, this could be a little more involved than we think. It turns out that Rogan has been going from hospital to hospital for years, brokering murders.
Without ever getting caught.
He's been very careful. One here, a couple there, never enough to attract any attention.
It's pretty clever, too. Using terminally ill patients that are likely to die before the police can ever track them down.
And the sad thing is, he practically pushed them into it with this offer of free medical benefits.
And the cash death benefits for the families. You can almost understand why they did it.
Ha! Got it.
Are you still having trouble with this mouse?
Oh, no, not anymore. Not since Mr. Rogan left. Now, the mouse is my friend. I can zip along from patient history to maintenance to personnel.
Guys, what's going on?
It's all right, Amanda. You can get the lights back on, can't you?
Yes, I can get the lights back on. Oops. Does anyone know where the fuse box is? Oh, it's pretty dark. Hey, who's that?
Nothing surprising to report. He died of gunshot wounds inflicted from behind. He had an enlarged thyroid and a little arterial sclerosis. And his last meal of fried oysters and cake probably didn't help matters.
He's the second Hill Ridge Estate resident this month. First one was identified as a Bill Donnelly. Kind of puts a new spin on their motto. Security is our priority.
Those gated communities are pretty strict. Maybe he put too much of that tam bark mulch on his lawn. Well, it was stuck to the bottom of his sneakers.
Did you say the shot came from inside the community?
Yeah, it looks like it. But their lawyers are so good they've stonewalled us out of getting anything.
Is there any connection between Victim 1 and Victim 2?
None so far, except for the high probability that it's the same killer.
I'm sorry, ma'am. This area is restricted.
Not again.
You two know each other?
Hi, I'm Shelby Turner. I'm a reporter.
For Comet Magazine.
Is that the zombies ate my babies?
Yeah, the scum of the earth, Comet.
We do hard-hitting investigative journalism. Perhaps you read a piece of mine a few months back about the Biggerstaff crime family. Dr.
Sloan.
Sloan! You two are related.
See how fast you made that connection? Boy, those zombie children didn't stand a chance.
Who's this?
Excuse me.
It's Paul Foster, the guy you were bugging me about this morning. She barged into the station and demanded to see the investigator in charge.
Yeah, well, I finished the autopsy.
Well, don't volunteer anything.
So what leads have you developed?
Nothing I'm going to share with you.
Well, there's more to this story than you realize. Foster called me. He told me that there were alien replicants living in that community. You're missing the bust of a lifetime.
Undercover in a gated community of $1 million homes.
Captain, we're getting nowhere. We can't get past the lawyers, much less the front gate.
Well, I'm not questioning the need for an investigation. It's the undercover part. What are you going to go in as, a inspector?
No, as a resident at the victim's house. Paul Foster, as far as we can tell, he has no known relatives. Until now.
Well, what about places of business, known enemies? The usual.
No, dead ends. The guy just moved here. He lives off his investments. We can't come up with any reason why someone would shoot the guy.
What about witnesses?
None.
Well, what's your cover going to be?
Opposition. Oh, come on now, think about it. It's perfect. My father's on staff at Community General. I can set up a practice there in 2 minutes.
You can also perform a couple of surgeries. Pick up a little extra cash on the side.
No, ear, nose, and throat guy. No scalpels, just popsicle sticks.
You know, your cover is supposed to be convincing. How are you going to pull off being a doctor?
Come on, Captain. I've been around hospitals and doctors all my life. For example, take that mole on your cheek.
What about it?
It's a congenital nevus. There's one chance in 50 that'll turn into a full-blown melanoma.
Well, thanks for the warning. I'll cut it out later with an ice pick.
Slightly misshapen, flat to the skin, no hair follicles. Yeah, it's a problem waiting to happen, especially if you have a history of severe sunburn. That hasn't changed shape recently, has it?
You know, why don't we lay off the mole, okay? It's part of my personality.
So, I have your permission to go undercover?
Yeah. Just remember, no malpractice suits, okay?
Oh, and I'm serious about that mole.
Out the door's waiting.
Yeah. Steve Foster. You, protecting us from killer bees? The gun, it's a joke.
Welcome to Hillridge Estates, sir. Have a pleasant stay.
Right.
You must be Dr. Foster. I'm Cliff Maloney, head of the Homeowners Association here. I'm terribly sorry about what happened to your brother.
Me too. It was a real shock.
I don't know how long you and Mrs. Foster plan on staying, but for whatever that period of time, I'd like to welcome you to the community.
Mrs. Foster?
Hello, honey. I didn't think I'd see you till tonight.
I didn't think I'd see you at all.
I decided to come early.
Wish you'd warned me.
I didn't have time. I had to get groceries for the dinner party.
Thanks very much for the invitation. I think this is a great way of remembering Paul. It was a pleasure to meet the both of you. Let me know if I can do anything, and always feel free to call security. They're extremely efficient.
They have that reputation.
Excuse me.
You realize the position you put me in?
The best possible one.
We had to talk.
Of course. Suitcases, darling.
Wouldn't want to forget my suitcases. Darling, after the trip I've had. Where are you going? We need to talk.
Not until we unpack your bags. The master bedroom's up here. You're gonna love it.
Better.
And wait till you see the master bathroom. It's gigantic. From now on, whenever you hear the shower running, it means I want to talk to you in here.
Better acoustics.
No, it's the only place that we can talk safely.
Why, alien replicants so like water?
The place is bugged, top to bottom.
You've been reading too many of your own magazines.
Paul Foster told me he used to always call me from the bathroom with the water running. He said it was the only place that he felt safe.
Well, maybe he felt safe here, but I don't.
What are you doing?
I'm leaving. The steam is bad from my jacket.
Didn't you hear what I said? Paul Foster was scared.
Well, he may have been scared, but he wasn't very smart. Cell phone conversations can very easily be intercepted.
Well, I think he feels worse than anybody about that. Now that he's dead, that's a condition I'd like to avoid.
Well, the way I feel is a condition I might consider helping you achieve.
You need me.
Oh, I can hardly wait to hear how.
I already told them all that I was your wife. If you kick me out, you blow your cover.
Mm-hmm. And how did you find out about my cover?
I have my sources.
Mm-hmm. Well, when this is over, you're going to jail for interfering with the police investigation.
When this is over, you'll be happy I was here. Now clean up. We have guests coming over. And remember, in case Foster was right about all the bugs, and he was, we are husband and wife even when we're completely alone together.
Mm-hmm. Unless we're taking a shower.
You'll feel so much better.
That's an interesting technique, picking up a fork like that.
Protects the monograms on the handles. Too many hands would just rub it right off.
Well, these aren't monogrammed.
They should be. It's an old habit you fall back into when you're trying to keep yourself busy after your brother-in-law dies.
You know, it's funny, he never mentioned either of you.
There was a strain between Paul and Steve. It's just a tragedy they never patched things up.
She's very efficient.
Obsessed.
Pretty.
Annoying.
How do you mean?
Well, for instance, she thinks the whole house is bugged.
Is it?
Doubtful.
But you're not sure?
No.
I think I'd give her the benefit of the doubt. She's been 2 steps ahead so far.
Excuse me, Dr. Foster. I've got some folks here I'd like you to meet. This is Charles and Frederica Harris. They're your next-door neighbors. And Frank and Kathleen Wolverton, they live down the block. Right? Dr. Steve Foster.
This is Dr. Mark Sloan. He's my boss at Community General.
Nice to meet you. Quite a neighborhood you've got here.
Yeah, sure is nicer than our old place. Certainly more efficient.
But dull. Every property is just like every other property. Fescue lawns, shag carpets. There's blonde wood and marble everywhere.
But it did put you into redecorating overdrive. You should see it wheel those credit cards.
Frank complains, but I've made the house feel just like we're back in Miami.
You know, somebody did a nice job with this house.
Yes, but it's not warm. I told Paul he really should have used more color.
We are so sorry about your brother. It's a terrible tragedy.
Thank you very much.
Did you know Paul, Dr. Sloan?
Well, you know, I don't think anybody really knew Paul.
Truer words were never spoken.
Thanks for having us, Doctor. We're going to take off.
Thank you all for coming.
I think I'll go freshen myself.
Good night.
That's, one long-suffering man. But I'm not. I know what you are. I know what you're doing here. Stay, and I'll tear your heart out and eat it with some berries and cream for breakfast. Shelby. Great dinner party. Thanks so much for having us.
Thank you for coming.
Absolutely. Wouldn't have missed it for the world.
Darling, I need your help in the shower.
I don't see anything wrong with the shower.
There.
Wouldn't it be easier just to stick those in the dishwasher?
That would wash the fingerprints off.
Oh, along with the gravy and those little bits of ham.
Just run these. We need to find out who these people really are.
You set up this party just to get fingerprints?
There is a conspiracy going on in this community. I can feel it.
There is no conspiracy. There is one bad guy, and I've got a pretty good idea who he is.
Who?
Charles Harris. He threatened to kill me, like you're trying to do with his steam.
That's wonderful.
Well, thank you for your concern.
Did he say anything about the mothership? Signals from Mizar Nebula?
No, but he did mention the Trilateral Commission and the earthquake machine. The Russians would use it.
Okay, fine. Don't take me seriously, but don't come crying to me when replicants take over.
No, you were right about one thing. The house is bugged. I found a transmitter in the intercom.
And?
And I found a transmitter in the intercom.
Would it kill you to say thanks for the warning?
Yes. Now, how far are we going to go with this little marriage deception? Because the people that are listening are not going to stop just because the sun went down.
Don't worry. I've got it all figured out. How can you be so insensitive, you pig? You can sleep on the couch again tonight. Till I change my mind. Men. No.
Oh, come on, Amanda. You don't even know what I'm going to ask.
I don't do windows. I do not do dishes, so forget about it.
Look, this is the dirty silverware from last night's party. I got to get the fingerprints off of it. I can't go anywhere near the station as long as I'm posing as Dr. Stephen Foster,
Otolaryngologist.
whatever.
All right, I'm going to work with you. I'll squeeze this in between the stroke victim and the guy that got hit by a train.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey!
Your congratulations are in order.
What are you talking about?
A wife and a medical degree all in one day?
And I'm counting the hours till I don't have either.
All right, I have the chart on Donnelly here, the first Hillridge victim. The circumstances were almost identical to Foster's killing. They both were shot twice, once through the base of the skull and the second time through the heart. And they both were shot from behind at long distances.
We're looking for a professional sharpshooter.
Sounds like a warm and welcoming community you live in.
Amanda Bentley, pathology. Yes, I'll be right down. Steve, you're not going to believe this. You have a patient waiting for you downstairs.
Right.
I'm not joking. They want you down there stat.
That means fast.
I know.
What am I gonna do?
What are you gonna do? You treat him, examine him, comfort him. Most importantly, don't hurt him. It's part of the Hippocratic Oath.
I never took the Hippocratic Oath.
You kidding me? In that cool jacket? That fancy name tag? You could have fooled me.
You're enjoying this, aren't you?
Yes, I am. All those times you dragged me into doing police work. All those times I stood face to face with death.
You never stood face to face with death.
All right, well, all the times I mistakenly thought I was standing face to face with death. This is payback time. There's some rubber gloves in that dispenser on the wall in case you need them.
In case I need them for what?
Probing.
You're coming with me.
I got rounds.
I need a consult.
Here's his chart.
Doctor.
Well, hey, Doc. I hope you don't mind, but I remember you saying you're an ear, nose, and throat guy. Well, I've been putting off getting this sinus thing checked out for the longest time. But who better to check me than Paul's brother?
Yes, who better? Mr. Maloney, this is Dr. Travis. He's a promising young physician here.
Learning at the feet of the master.
Wow. Guess I picked the right doctor. So where did you transfer from?
Private practice. So, Dr. Travis, what would your first diagnostic move be?
Well, I think I would begin by examining the patient.
Good answer.
Oh, you're right. He's a smart one. You know, Paul never spoke too much about his family. Which of you takes after your dad?
Our sister. Now then,
Which end of the depressor do you use?
This one. Now, open wide.
Should you be examining the patient?
Well, I need a baseline for the purposes of comparison. Say, ah.
Ah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, it's a good thing I decided to take a look. This tonsil back here is pretty inflamed.
Oh.
This one back here. We'll discuss that tonsil later, Doctor, but I'm afraid I may have to take it out.
Whatever you say, Doc.
You know, it's a terrible shame about Paul. I just can't imagine why anyone would want to harm a man like your brother.
Neither can I. All righty, then. Let's just have a look, shall we?
Can I get a new one of those? That one's kind of wet.
Oh, you know what? We won't even use a tongue depressor.
That's how good he is.
Yeah, here we go. You know, I think I'll refer you to one of our allergists.
Huh?
We only have one allergist.
And that's the one I'm going to refer you to.
Good. Because I'd like to get to the bottom of this.
Mm-hmm. See to it, will you, Dr. Travis, and make it snappy. We're late for round.
It's the best.
investigating. There were people walking their dogs. The dogs looked drugged. So did the people, for that matter.
Really?
There were workmen.
They were supposed to be workmen.
They weren't working. They were watching me.
Well, why wouldn't they watch you? You're new here, you're pretty.
You really think I'm pretty?
Just get to the point, will you?
There were milkmen delivering milk. Now, who delivers milk these days?
Milkmen?
Okay, how about this one? I asked the cable repairman to come check my reception. He came without an appointment.
Now, that is strange.
Did you run those prints?
Yeah, we ran a print.
Well, are you going to tell me about it willingly and get over with, or am I going to have to pester it out of you?
Well, we don't have the whole story yet. And I'm sure there's a perfectly good explanation. But the fingerprints of every resident at that party last night belonged to someone who was already deceased.
Dead people?
Let's not rush to judgment. Let's just get the facts.
This is better than alien replicants. I've got to call my editor.
No, you're not calling anyone.
The story's too big to sit on.
You don't have a story unless you're going to make one up.
We're talking dead people.
But I'm not letting you out of this room until you promise me you're not going to call anyone.
I just don't want to get scooped.
You won't. Whatever this place is hiding, they've been doing it for a long time, and they'll do anything to protect it. We have to be careful. Now, promise me.
Okay, I promise. But I'm just a comet reporter, remember? Scum of the earth.
I trust you.
Bell changing a light bulb.
He's dead.
Cause of death looks accidental. Mr. Harris broke his neck the moment he fell. There's nothing anybody could have done for him.
I wonder.
You think the alien replicants got him? I think your wife needs you.
You okay?
I'm tired. My stomach's upset. I've seen enough death for one lifetime. Take me home. Where are you going?
To sleep on the couch again. Remember?
Don't, please. After everything that happened today, I really don't want to be alone. Would you mind staying up here tonight?
Not at all. Honey.
But I'm not ready to have you back in my bed yet.
It's all right. I'll sleep in the recliner. Let's just try and get some sleep, okay? Always loved recliners. Good night, honey.
Good night, darling.
Listen, I gotta go, but do me a favor, will you? Stay out of trouble. Don't walk around the neighborhood.
Well, it's a new day. Something terrible is going on in this neighborhood, and I intend to find out what.
But this is a murder investigation. I don't want to come back here and find out you're the latest victim.
There won't be. I promise.
I mean it, Shelby.
I know you do.
Charles Harris had a contusion on his forehead, undoubtedly caused by the fall from the ladder. He also had a badly twisted ankle from the same fall. But what killed him was a broken neck, plain and simple. I couldn't find anything else. I looked, trust me.
I just don't buy this as an accident. The guy that threatened me at the party just happens to die in his own house changing a light bulb.
You found traces of Synthroid in Harris's system.
Nothing significant, just a therapeutic dosage.
What's Synthroid?
It's a thyroid replacement drug.
Well, didn't you say Paul Foster had an enlarged thyroid?
Yes, but he died from gunshot wounds, not thyroid disease.
Yeah, but I still think we ought to do a few more tests to find out what else our two bodies have in common.
All right, this is a partial gene sequence on both men, but the number of correlations is no fluke.
What's the percentage?
You tell me. I'll highlight them.
3 out of 4.
What's it mean?
Well, if Amanda were to run a test on you and me, we'd match up about 50% of the time. Because I'm your father, I contributed 50% of your genetic material. Your mother contributed the other half. See, there's only one way that two people can match up 75% of the time.
They were brothers.
And they kept that a secret even though they lived across the street from each other? Why? What the hell is going on?
I don't know. Certainly puts a different spin on Harris's threat. You know, he knew you were an imposter. He probably thought you had something to do with Paul's death. He was terrified of you. Did Shelby ever explain why Paul Foster contacted her, of all people?
Well, I assume it's because she was the only person that would listen to a story about alien replicants.
I wonder.
Hi. Am I looking at the same guy that gave me the gift subscription to Smithsonian Magazine?
Yes, you are. But I'll tell you something. I didn't want to subscribe to Comet Magazine. This stuff is great. Did you know that there's an entire civilization of trolls living 11 miles under Mount Etna?
No, I must have missed that chapter in social studies.
Well, by God, Shelby knew about it because she wrote an article. And she did a 3-parter in here on spontaneous human combustion. You know that just one extra burger boy with cheese causes your body to pass critical mass to go up in flames?
Why are you doing that?
Because I wanted to find out what the connection between Paul Foster and Shelby was.
Well, she said he called from Hill Ridge Estates.
I think she knew him long before he ever arrived at Hill Ridge.
You're kidding.
Look at this. Just after the article on the rat people living in the sewers of New York, there's a genuine piece of journalism right there about the biggest staff crime family in Miami. She mentioned it the other day.
This was written 7 months ago.
4 days before a big bus took that family down. Now, the godfather family goes on trial this week in Miami.
So you think Foster was the unnamed source that she mentions in the article?
I think when he found himself in trouble, he called the one person he thought he could trust.
But what kind of trouble? And don't say alien replicants.
Look at this, Miami newspaper. The 4 principal witnesses in the Biggerstaff case have been put under protective custody.
And all the residents at the Hill Ridge Estates have assumed names. And all the fingerprints match up with dead people.
Our tax dollars are worth.
Except out of the 4 protected witnesses, 3 are dead.
Well, our tax dollars don't work that well.
Well, at least we know how the 3 victims are connected and why they were killed.
We don't know who the 4th witness is, and we don't know who's trying to kill him. Headed back to the ridge?
Yeah, I think it's time to find out what's really going on. Hello, Dr. Foster. Hey, Phil. Want to get the gate for me? It was a geranium, wasn't it? I was supposed to plant Narcissus. Lieutenant Steve Sloan, LAPD. I want to talk to the man in charge.
That's good, because he wants to talk to you.
We already know who you are, Lieutenant. But thanks for your willingness to share. Oh, and thanks for the soda. It's a well-stocked kitchen you've got here.
Thank you. Now it's your turn for the ID. And not the one that says Clifton Maloney. Your real ID, your FBI badge.
Who said anything about FBI?
Unless you guys have turned the witness protection program over to the Forest Service. You're FBI. I assume you've increased security on the 4th witness in the Biggerstaff trial.
Well, that's very good, Lieutenant. But since you're fishing for his name, I'll just cross you off the list of potential assassins.
I appreciate that. What I don't appreciate is you keeping this secret from the local authorities. Specifically me.
It's federal jurisdiction.
Yet dead bodies keep turning up in my jurisdiction.
Oh, and I suppose that justifies you coming in here undercover and potentially blowing the entire thing.
Oh, no, you guys are doing a great job of that all by yourselves. 3 dead witnesses out of 4. You ever consider it might be an inside job?
Now, wait a minute.
Seems to me you could use some help from someone objective, like the LAPD.
Okay. You want in? You find out what your lady friend was doing here the night Paul Foster was killed. See, our perimeter surveillance cameras caught her on film. She lured him to the north fence. He was shot on his way there.
Those shots came from behind. She couldn't have done it.
No, but she's obviously involved, or she wouldn't have been there at all. She's probably involved in 2 other murders as well. We just can't get her to tell us how.
Where is she?
She's here. She's fine.
She better be. Get her. You know, you really should have brought me in on this earlier.
Took us a while to check you out, Lieutenant. And then we were hoping she was going to slip up and tell you something.
And all you got was the sound of running water.
She's a very attractive woman.
You got enough to charge her?
Not yet. But we will.
Steve. Thank God.
You all right?
Yeah.
Good. Shall we turn around? I'm placing you under arrest. You have the right to remain silent.
What?
What do you think you're doing, Lieutenant?
I'm arresting you for interfering with the police investigation.
You can't do that.
Well, you prefer I take her in as a material witness in a homicide?
I prefer you leave her here.
I've got legitimate charges I can bring against her. You don't. As soon as you do, let me know. I'll return her to your custody. In the meantime, she's my prisoner and she's going to my jail.
You're interfering with a federal investigation, Lieutenant Sloan.
Under the circumstances, it's my sworn duty to interfere. You can't even keep your own witnesses alive.
This isn't over.
Got that right. As soon as he uncuffs me, I'm going to strangle him.
Keys. Give him the keys.
If you take me to jail, I'll kill you. I swear it. But tell me you don't believe him.
You make it kind of hard when you keep threatening to kill me.
Right. Look, you've been playing the sullen cop for 45 minutes. Are you going to uncuff me and we can talk about this or not?
I really should arrest you, you know.
I didn't kill Paul Foster.
I know.
Well, then why are you pulling this "it's my sworn duty" thing on Maloney?
Because I can't leave you with someone who might have already killed 3 people. Now tell me about Paul Foster, and this time tell me everything.
He was my source inside the Biggerstaff crime family. 7 months later, he calls me up and he tells me he's got this even bigger story, but his life is in danger. And he needs me to help him survive.
So he arranged for you to meet him outside the Hill Ridge Estates that night.
I didn't lure him to his death. I didn't have anything to do with any of it. You believe me, don't you?
You made it difficult.
I know.
I mean, really difficult.
I know.
I can't believe this.
What, that you're falling for the scum of the earth?
Well,
I can't believe I'm falling for someone who would call me the scum of the earth.
I never said that.
You sure?
Absolutely.
Well, then.
You really believe in spontaneous human combustion?
Let me show you how it works.
Ah, I see you're still on the Hill Ridge Estate case. You know, he's not really a doctor.
Sorry. Sometimes I can't help myself.
Did you see Frank Wolverton at all today?
No, I did see his wife, though. She said he was hiding while the workmen buffed her new hardwood floors.
She's obsessed.
More than that. You noticed more than you thought you noticed. Amanda, I'd like you to do a recheck on an autopsy for me.
I'm giving her back. I already called Maloney. He knows what's coming.
Boy, the Wolvertons really have a nice place. She's not in handcuffs.
When I changed my mind about arresting her, I decided to start dating her instead.
Well, Mrs. Wolverton, you were absolutely right to redecorate the place is lovely.
Thank you, Dr. Sloan.
Tiffany and I just love them. And a Persian rug. Oh, much more attractive than shag.
You stopped by for the home and garden tour?
I agree. Shag sheds, and it's hard to vacuum.
Mm-hmm. Although, you know, Persian rugs will shed, too, especially if they're hand-tied like this one. I had the medical examiner recheck the autopsy report on that first murder victim. Mm-hmm. Sure enough, the same kind of carpet fibers on his pants leg.
Really? He must have been visiting the Utleys. I believe they have new rugs as well.
And hardwood floors, they sure can make a house a home, can't they? That is, when the varnish dries.
They do tend to stay tacky for a while.
Well, you know, even when varnish sets, it still can be really sticky on your shoes.
Yes, I guess.
Mm-hmm. That's why we found tan mark from your lawn on the bottom of Paul Foster's shoes the night he was murdered. It stuck to the varnish that he had picked up from your new floors.
Foster wasn't here the other night. At least I didn't see him.
Your wife did. He probably told her he was leaving here. He was scared that he was going to be the next victim.
And your wife made sure he was.
And forensics also found some varnished flecks on the entryway to Charles Harris's home. You tracked it in when you went in there to kill him.
I'm being set up. Frank, don't listen to them, please.
Kathleen, what have you done?
She used her designer touch on all three of the other witnesses. That's what she did. And you were next.
I don't understand.
Of course you don't. I wanted my life back. Couldn't stand to live here for another day. When I found out about the amount of money the bigger shops were offering for witnesses, I couldn't pass it up.
And since you're a crack shot...
Skeet. Off the back of Daddy's yacht.
I thought you loved me.
I loved you in Miami. I didn't love you in California. This isn't home, Frank. No matter how much redecorating I did, it would never be home.
You would trade my life for a house in Miami.
The right house.
Put her in handcuffs.
How'd you figure this one out?
Good forensics, logical deductions, one very big guess.
It's gonna make a great story. You know what's so cool about it?
What's that?
There aren't any mutants in it.
I thought you loved mutants. It's not a job requirement for working at the Comet.
I think I might sit on this story for a week or two. What do you think about that?
Why would you do that?
Give the FBI a chance to relocate some of its witnesses.
Well, how about that? A reporter with integrity.
Well, how about that? A cop with attitude. I left my makeup in the bathroom. I'll be right back, and then we can stop playing Dr. and Mrs. Foster.
Yeah, I guess we can. There's no one listening anymore, you know.
I know.